Good morning, everyone. So today is June 1st. So Spellbinders has launched their June clubs. So these items were sent free of charge for my review, and all opinions are my own. And any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. So generally, for to try out for you guys, I have the large die of the month, the APG, and the card kit of the month. The card kit is on its way, so I will do that in a couple days here. And sometimes I get to try out the stamp of the month, the clear stamp of the month. So real quickly, the clear stamp of the month is a photopolymer stamp club. It's the least, the most inexpensive way to get into the Spellbinders clubs. Sometimes they make it so it coordinates back to one or a couple of the different clubs here. So this one is going to work with your small die of the month, the large die, and then of course, it has sentiments. You can sprinkle them in however you like here and there. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. They do have some changes this month, and some of you have already noticed because I've had questions from people like, oh, how do we do this? Or how do we... So one of the bigger changes is the skip function. So they're not going to have the skip anymore, but if you want to skip for that month, you would just cancel that club. And I know sometimes people have like a small die, maybe they have the stamp of the month, so those are two different things. And in your portal, it'll show those two things. It's the clear stamp of the month and the small die of the month. And let's say for whatever reason you want to skip the clear stamp of the month, so you would just cancel it. The skip option is not there. And then let's say you want to pick it back up the next month, you would just add it back or sign up again. And you can cancel and sign up as many times as you like throughout the year. So one thing I'm pretty sure I haven't checked on, though, is if you were to cancel, let's say you had one club and you canceled it because you want to skip it that month, you won't be getting your 10% discount for that month. But you can read the frequently asked questions. The other thing is the schedule. When they ship through the 5th through the 15th, and you can read all about that. They were making those changes the last couple months, and so now they're on track to do that. And that'll also be in the frequently asked questions. Any other changes will be there. So those are the two that really stand out that I want to mention. And then with the club, of course, like I mentioned, you get 10% off the site. It's just automatically taken on the site whenever you log in. It'll be there. So I'll have all the links for you guys to check all that out. So let's check out these dies. So with the large die of the month, it's the Colorblock circles and stripes. And then I have the coordinating stamps, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So, it's so funny because when I looked at this first, I was like, oh, yeah, the circles. And then they have these little cool things. So when you get yours, it's going to be on a carrier sheet. You're going to have some inspiration, some idea how to use it, maybe some direction there. But these are the way the samples come, so I will try something out. But I didn't realize we have stripes that we can play with too. So you can just use them on your card along the way they're made right now. Maybe you can do some weaving. I mean, there's like so many things you can do with this. Maybe you can weave it in and out of this circular area, however you want to use it. Let me see how long these are. I believe I would just assume that they're about over 8 inches, but let's see. Very slimliney. Yeah, 8.5. So right across your 8.5 slimline. Of course, you can trim them down to make them into a smaller card. Let's see about this piece here. This piece, you can kind of weave it in and out. You can make 2 pieces that overlap each other, and then if you want more, you add another length of them. But the base die itself is about 5 and just smaller than 5 1/4. So that would be really nice to put right on top of an A2 size card. You'll have 3 circles, or you can extend it out for a longer card. And then we have all these dies. So what's cool is they did include 3 of the circle dies, so you can get things cut out pretty quickly. There's 1, 2, 3, and then there's inserts that say happy birthday for you. Thank you. You can use them. You don't have to use them. You can just use the circle. You don't have to use the circle. You can use these guys. We'll cut out lots of different little circles that you can just kind of pattern in and out of each other. There's half circles that also make another cool geometric design. So lots of fun ways to play with that one. I believe that's what we'll be using today. And then I also just want to show you a quick peek of the Victorian Splendor Slimline. This is the APG die. And we have this piece here. Actually, this one, now that I look at it, it's a big rectangle. Let's measure this guy. I wasn't sure if this had a cut line. It does not. So this is 7 inches by 5. So it cuts you a perfect 5 by 7 rectangle. Then we have all these pieces that you can kind of play with in and out, mix them up with in there. We have this piece here that has the outer die. It has the insert, which is super intricate and beautiful. We also have this piece here. And let me measure these to, well, if that's 7 inches, it's going to be a little bit smaller than 7 inches in height. Yeah, these are like 6 5/8, I would say. And this one is just like 2 5/8 inch wide. And then this one is about 1 3/4 inches wide. So you can play with those different ways. Insert or not insert here, this decorative one. We have also this little piece here that you can use as a topper. You can use it on its own. You can use it as a tag. You have this other piece that you can use or not use, the frame, this middle piece here. You can see it tucks in there really perfectly. And then we have this other insert. Again, you can put a sentiment in there or don't, however you want to use it. And then leaves and little flowers that are super sweet. And look at the stamp of the month. So the small die of the month has very Arizona feels. It's really cool. So I'll begin that pretty soon here once they ship that. That's the club I have signed up for in the Glimmer. The Glimmer is also, it's a birthday set with like snarky, funny little quips, you know, with happy birthday and like just funny things on there. So this set here has all these sentiments. Let me see if I can put something behind this. There we go. Shine bright. We have the birds that, you know, again with that Arizona kind of background, kind of desert feel of this small die of the month. You can pop these in there. You can pop these in there even in here. That'd be really cute. The little birds. You have like little flowers. You're my sunshine, glow on girl. Thank you for being my sunshine every day. Life is a circle. The end of one journey is the beginning of the next. So these obviously are more circular. They go back to the large die. The little kind of desert scenes, just so cute. And here I wish you were here. So lots of fun things in there that you can pop into whatever design you're wanting to do. All right, guys, so I'm going to grab some paper and we will get started. Okay, guys, so these are the pieces that I chose I'm going to be using. I think I'll show you how to use the little inserts and then one of the stamps, and, you know, we can kind of play with that. But for right now, I'm just going to do the die cutting. And so I pulled out some different colors. I have a card base here. This is actually from the card kit of the month, one of the previous ones. And what I'm going to do is white on white texture. So we did this not too long ago, I think, with an APG die, and it looks really pretty. So I just have this piece of paper cut at 4 by 5 1/4, just white cardstock. And we're going to put it on top of that. And on top of this, we're going to do our strips. So from that same piece of white paper that I cut the 4 by 5 1/4 piece, I have this left. And I'm just going to run this through the die cutting machine probably 2 or 3 times. I'm not sure how many I'm actually going to use. And then we're going to trim them down, of course. So I'll run this through a couple times just to get some of these strips. To put our little circles on, I do want to use a base, so I am going to use one of the base circles. I'm going to cut 3 of these, just out of white paper. I mean, you can use the paper that coordinates to the colors that you're going to make your little circles with, or however you like, but I'm just going to use white paper, so I'll cut 3 of these. And then with this die that cuts 6 circles at once, I'm going to run it through just once, I think, on each of these colors. I'm doing like a variation, or what? Variegation? Is that the word? Variegated? I don't know, it sounds weird. Of these pink colors. So I'm going to cut one of this, and one of this. And as far as this piece, I do want to use some gold. I think I might even cut the circle in the gold. What's interesting is that if you layer it in here, you can even just use that little piece in the negative area. You don't waste any paper there. I think I'm going to cut the gold. One strip of this, one strip of the dark pink. I may end up using 2 strips of gold. We'll see. But either way, I'm going to cut some of this piece out of the darker pink and the gold, and then we'll kind of play with it, okay? So I will be right back. Okay, guys, so I have several different things here. So what I'm going to start with is the background. And I kind of like the way they have it set up on the die. It goes from like a small strip to a larger strip, and then to the medium-sized strip. So let's say if you want to use your like grid lines on your mat or something to kind of help you line this up, I am going to let them stick out the top and out of the bottom. I know you can just line it up and only cut the bottom, but For me, with a die, you know, it gives it that little curved edge. So it'll have that curved edge here, but then when we cut it off here, it'll just be cut off. So I'd rather just have it cut off on both the top and the bottom. I hope that makes sense. And so, actually, let me move some of these things to the side. Really easy. The little circles, each one has, excuse me, each one has an ejector button. So you can just poke it out if it doesn't come out easily there. So I'm thinking something like this. So let's line this up on something like that on my grid lines here. It looks like this strip is about 1/4 inch. This one's like 3/4 inch. And then this one's like, I would say 1/2 inch probably. So I am going to glue these down, separated by 1/4 inch, I think. Let me see what that looks like, roughly. Something like that, and then we'll start again with the skinny line. And you can make it so that the pattern goes from outside to in, you know, I'm just repeating the pattern. And then this one. Yeah, I don't even know that we have room for this guy. Well, so we could make a room for him. Let me see how I actually want to lay these out, and I'll be right back. Okay, you know what? If I do them about 1/8 of an inch apart, they all fit, and that's what I'll do. So I'm just going to take glue and just, let's see here. Now you can definitely use a liner tape and just pop them down, you know, but I'm going to use glue. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of the strip, about as much as I think I need. And I had it right on that 1/8 of an inch line there. I'm just kind of looking at my grid mat to see kind of where I want to lay that. Okay, and I'll continue just gluing them about 1/8 of an inch apart. And I'll be back when we go to trim this down. Okay, I have them all stuck down. So I'm just going to take this to, you know, my guillotine or my trimmer and just measure it up right here and just chop off both of those sides, all those bits that are extra, okay? I'll be right back. Super easy. You can also just take scissors, but I think it just looks nicer if you use like a trimmer, just so you know it's all the same. I did try to clean up right after I was done here because new mat, trying to keep it looking good. All right, so this will be, again, our base. It just gives it a little texture, a little something in the background. Okay, and you know, actually, let's go ahead and stick this down just so we can build up from here too. So I'm sticking it down flat. If you like your panel to be popped up, of course you can use dimensionals. Sorry if that sound grated your ears a little. There we go. Okay. And so a couple things. I cut 2 gold because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do 2 gold going up and down here. So cool, you guys. Just very geometrical, very different, very fresh. Or if I wanted a gold and a pink, which I thought would be really lovely. Actually, I really do like that. Or even make it look a little woven. Is that? Ooh, so those, very interesting. I kind of like that too. Let's go with this. Okay, and for this to work, so I don't, you know, I want to make sure what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little glue under here first, and then I'll move them together as a unit. Does that make sense? Because I don't want to put that in the wrong spot. So let's put a little glue here, a little glue there. Make sure they're lined up how we want them. Basically meeting edge to edge here. And then I'll kind of squish that down to make sure we keep that going right there. And right here. So I'm just holding this down just so that these center pieces will hold together before I completely glue it down to my paper. Okay, I'm just going to hold just these, basically keeping it centered here. Again, I'm not gluing it to my paper, I'm just gluing these junctions, okay? And I'm going to hold it down until it stays. I'll be right back. Okay. And why I did that is just because I wove it together. If you're just putting one on top of the other, it doesn't matter. You can just glue the one, then glue the other. So I am going to put some glue on the back of this, and then we'll play with the circles. So pretty. It's just really clean and fresh looking in my opinion. I'm just eyeballing the center here. I suppose I could use my grid on my mat to help me with that. But 1 1/4 should be over just a little bit this way, I suppose. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this guy down and I'll be back. Okay, so I'll use this for something else. And you know, I put it right down the center. You can put it on the left, on the right, however you'd like to do it. Going this way, you probably have to cut it down, but super pretty. I mean, look, even that, just so many pretty ways to play with that. Okay, so these guys are going to help me hold my circles in place. So basically they go like in here, but I'm going to build up our little circles over here. And the reason I only cut one of each, one pass, is because we're gonna have plenty to play with. So each one of these things cuts you 6 circles, or 6 parts there. Let me just take this, get this sticky again. All right. And so I'm just going to play with it. Since I do have a lot of this bright pink and the gold on the outer edge, I'm going to do these so that maybe the dark or pink and the gold are more towards the inside of the circle. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to start with like this light one, the biggest one, and then I'm going to go in from there. If you start in the center, it's going to be harder to gauge what goes where, right? So I'm just going to, actually let me hold on to this. So this is all I'm going to do, just take some light pink here. So my intention was just to use the pink colors, but it's always nice to add a little gold in there. So if you added the pink, if you had 3 colors, like I have the dark, light, and medium pink, then you can just go dark, light, medium, you know, and keep switching those colors out. But like the next color here might be this mid-color pink. And I have no plan for this, I'm just kind of playing with these. And they nest into each other really nicely. And maybe gold, but I think for now I'm going to use the dark pink. Again, I can go light, medium, dark again, but I'm going to grab the next size, which is this gold one. You see this in rainbow colors, so cute. On the white background too with rainbow colors, that'd be so lovely. Okay, so we have that. And then I can start repeating the pattern again, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna go with, oopsie, the lighter pink. Is that what I had? Yeah. This guy. And so the other 2 circles, I'll do the exact same thing. Just kind of play with them in a way that, and this one I will just put the glue in the center and bring in this medium color pink. So pretty. And then the other die, this one does halves. So it would be the same thing. You can do all these different things, but then you do the half circle. So the circle in the middle will change to a different color. It just looks super cool. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing with these other 2, just kind of play with whatever I have here, and I'll be back. Work on this. I was gonna make mention, if you don't want to put the glue on the actual ring, you can just put glue all over this, because we're gonna cover it anyway, so hopefully you can kind of see I just put glue, and then I'll just finish up putting our colors in here, and then our dark pink. Okay, just play with it, but very easy. Okay guys, so I kind of popped these in here just to see what that looks like. Very pretty. So for the middle one, of course, I can keep working, make another set of circles that we popped in here, and you can put a sentiment or however you want to do it. I'm going to go ahead and use these 2 different ones just to show you. So we have the thank you that's in the kit there, and you can just pop this into something and it'll make like a circular thank you. It doesn't cut the very edge, but it does cut out these other pieces. But I'm going to pair it up, of course, with one of the rings. I'm using like the medium pink color, and I'll just pop that on there. Let's see here. And I might back that up with another color, we'll see. I do have a white circle cut. But you can always pop, you know, the gold back there or however you want to do it. Okay, so I'll run that through. And then on this one, I'm just going to stamp one of the sentiments here. May every sunrise hold more promise. Those are so pretty. Life is a circle. The end of one journey is the beginning of the next. Ooh, let's use that one. And I'm just going to use my squid ink. I brought out the squid ink just in case I chose a sentiment that could be colored. Like, you can color in some of this stuff, it'd be cute, or like this little picture here, or scenery, should I say, or like the little flowers. But I think this is just a sentiment, so let's press that down. Yep, and then I'll just cut that out with one of the other circle dies. We have, again, 3 ready to go, so you can just trim that out. Okay, so I'll cut this one out, and I'll cut out the thank you, and I'll be right back. My pieces here. I did put some dimensional on the back of this, and I just realized, oh, I should have put on my little bracelet I got. Well, I have tons of them, but this one that I got the last time I went to Arizona. Oh, so sweet. Let's see here. Before I really push this down, I'm just kind of looking over the very top. I haven't pushed it down quite yet. And dimensional on the back of this one. I love that paneling in the back. It reminds me of the house I grew up in. It had that cool paneling all over the walls. All right, so we have our little sentiment. I did stamp it on white. The white is, in the background too, so it just looks nice and clean. If I wanted to put some dimensional on that, I'll just show you what that might look like. And we have our little sentiment, very clean. You can ink around the edges if you'd like. What I'm gonna do is glue together these 2 guys and then pop that on there. So kind of thin, so the Barely Art glue has a very, very thin applicator, or it has 3 different applicators actually, I think, but I have the precision point on here. Or you can put the glue on the back of your hand and just dab, dab, dab into that. But that's pretty good. And let me get this on here. So I'm gonna let that set up because it is on a slick surface. It takes a little second for the glue to set up. And I'll put this on the back of it and I'll be right back. Okay. So again, before I really just squish it down, I just kind of wanna, did I take the back off? Yeah. And there we go. So just a couple ways to use the Colorblock circles and stripes, the large die of the month. Very clean looking, very cool. Again, we have the stamps and then the dies themselves, of course, that we can play around with. So I will have the links in the description box. And thanks for watching, guys. Thank you so much, Spellbinders, for sending these items for my review. I'll have some images for you guys, and I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.